Okay, we are going to start this episode a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Eric, what do you... I've noticed that we like to learn things on this podcast.
We love learning things,
and
we'll
officially start the podcast shortly. But what you were about to tell me before we started recording about fabric dye, and I want all of our listeners to know.
So you were learning about fabric dye, and I was boning up on something that's related to my boning. Yeah. I was boning up on something that's actually interesting to me, which is medications and the origins of certain drug classes. And Elton John's back. Okay, on the screen. Okay,
I'm just getting stuff ready.
Oh, he's getting stuff ready. I'll keep talking.
You entertain our guests.
All right. Well, thank you both of you for joining us tonight. So the discovery of benzodiazepines was kind of an accident, because people this is how drug things went in the 60s and 70s. They went, I don't know, what's this? Oh, it makes mice quieter, makes them less anxious. Oh, good. We have a drug. Let's put it in people next. And the benzodiazepine class of medications started out with Librium, now known as the generic name chlordiazepoxide. It's the first of the benzodiazepines. You may know them from Valium and such medications. And it's a big class, and some of them are fast acting, some of them are slow acting, some of them stick around in your body for a long time. Librium is one of those that sticks around in your body for a long time. So when this medication was discovered in the 50s, they patented it, and the FDA approved it for mania, for severe depression, and for alcoholism, because it pretty much calms people down. It stops one of the things about benzodiazepines in general. Wow, we're just launching into it here. One of the things about benzodiazepines. Welcome to Benzo Talk.
Yeah, Benzodiazepines. Yes. We'll get to the main feature soon.
Okay. All right.
People are gathering. They're getting their popcorn.
Right, and this is a new show, so we can do stupid shit like this. Yeah.
Yep.
But one of the things about benzodiazepines is they lower the seizure threshold. So you can use them as an anti-seizure medication. You shouldn't. They're much better anti-seizure medications these days.
That immediately.
But they're better than barbiturates, which were also used for not seizures and also pain and also anxiety and such. Librium, as referenced in...
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Keep going.
Okay. As referenced in a song that we'll talk about soon.
Yes.
Eventually, the second song on the album we're going to talk about tonight. It's a long-acting sedative because it has a long half-life of its own. But once the liver gets at it, it transforms it into its active metabolite nordiazepam. And nordiazepam has a half-life that's like days. And for people who don't know what a half-life is, it's the amount of time it takes your body to cut the amount of active metabolite in half.
It's also nuclear stuff.
Oh yeah, same idea. How long does it take for the nuclear stuff to go half of the nuclear stuff? Mm-hmm. So it sticks around a long time. So it's good for long-term psychiatric help. But yeah, if you abuse it, if you take too much, it can accumulate. So that's one of the risks, is that if you take it too frequently, it will accumulate. It'll get to a too high level and you'll overdose. Definitely don't take benzodiazepines, any benzodiazepine, even the short-acting ones like Ativan. Don't take any of them with alcohol.
Before smoking.
No. Don't take them before swimming with alcohol and opiates in your system, because your chance of dying rises dramatically. Yeah. I'm a pharmacist, people.
I'm not.
In case you haven't heard that part. Dan's not, but he also knows you shouldn't do this.
Not before swimming, and not ever.
Yeah. But yeah, this drug works on the GABA A receptor complex, much like alcohol. But yeah, this drug class was closely followed by Valium. I mentioned diazepam, Ativan, all these other... gosh, there's so many different benzodiazepines out here, some of which are...
First-time listeners, I just want to make... We are going to talk about David Bowie eventually.
Oh, yes, this is a David Bowie podcast.
This is entirely my fault, so blame me.
Yeah, we should have talked about David Bowie in the first few minutes, just to...
Nah, that's good.
That's
fine.
The socials. Yeah, you know, but yeah, there are a lot of different benzodiazepines out there. Some are approved for sleeping, some approved for anxiety, and there are quite a few. But don't mess around with them, kids. They may be less dangerous than barbiturates like phenobarbital, but they're still pretty bad.
And speaking of still pretty bad, here we go.
This is great. I don't know what you're talking about.
This ain't rock and roll. This is genocide, everybody. That's right. You are still listening to the, let's see. It is a David Bowie podcast of a certain popularity on the internet. On your phone, in your car, in your pocket, wherever you... Bowie is where we explain the Bowie. I did it.
It could be Texas.
It could be Texas. It could be anywhere. David Bowie is not illegal yet in Texas. Although,
watch out. Greg Abbott is working on it.
Yeah.
Why do I know the name of the governor of Texas?
Yeah. Well,
he's the governor of Texas. He's not Elton John, right?
He's not.
Greg Abbott is not Elton John. I'm
By the
looking
way,
at a picture of him.
I just want to say, whoever is out there thinking that they wish the tree would have finished the job, you should not think that. That's a terrible thing to think about Greg Abbott and the tree that almost killed him.
Oh.
Well, so...
R.I.P. tree.
I feel like
the chair's back.
Yay! I feel like that tree not finishing the job is possibly proof that God either exists or does not exist. You're whoever wants to
whichever way you want to go. I'm a God guy, so I'm like, oh yeah, okay, all right.
See, I'm a not God guy, so I feel like this is possibly proof that we live in a cold uncared universe.
I love that we can interpret it both ways.
It truly is just random. Because, I mean, you know, it's not illegal to say bad things about the governor of another state, right?
Not right now.
Okay.
Maybe in the next few weeks. Okay. By the time this episode posts, it will be.
All right. Well, Greg Abbott, go fuck yourself.
Libel. Wait, slander? We're talking about it. Slander.
I don't know.
Libel is print.
He did get hit by the tree, and the tree didn't kill him, but that's why he's in the wheelchair. Ableism. That's what that is.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Bowiesplaining, folks. We're talking about David Bowie. This is the show where Eric, learns about David Bowie albums and other David Bowie things, and rediscovers my love for music from the 60s and 70s, and realizes that I have a giant gaping hole where David Bowie should be in my heart.
I'm not gonna take that low hanging fruit, but thank you for serving it up.
I respect you for not taking advantage of that statement.
At one time. Right. So we are now It possibly,
we're falling apart on episode 4.
This is what we were looking for, I think.
I
think. Look, when you decided that you wanted to do a podcast with me, you knew. I feel like you knew that this was what was going to.
It was Bowie or Huell Hauser. And either way, this would have happened very quickly.
Yes. We are currently on The Man Who Sold the World. And ironically, this might be the episode some people start with. So, welcome.
Yay.
I think I figured out how to get my Google Slides working. We'll find out. They're ridiculous, but possibly less so.
I spent a good chunk of today listening to T-Rex. So,
oh, nice.
Get ready.
Oh, I'm ready. We're going to learn all about dinosaurs.
Not enough to get ready for. Oh, that's a great slide. Oh, no. This gets worse the more I look at it.
I know it does. It's a picture of Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love in a heart with a pink decorations and a heart. I put the speakers on there because that's
Did you
hard.
Find this image or make it?
No, I found it.
Okay, good. Somebody else made this horrible image.
Yeah, it is a horrible image,
and then you plussed it up.
I did because you know, fan of Disney parks. That's what they do.
Yes, plussing.
So let's see. We're catching up with our fans. We did this last time, which was so long ago. So much time has happened.
I'm interested to hear. Yeah,
Eric, you've grown a beard.
Yes, I used to be. I wasn't able to grow a beard before, but thanks to
thanks to Harness,
thanks to Harness, and a deal with the devil, I now have a luscious beard.
Ooh, it's like one of these songs came to life. I hope you didn't do all of that though.
No, just the beard.
Okay, good.
The devil did some stuff. I was asleep.
Again, not gonna touch the low-hanging fruit.
I'm sorry.
No, this is good. Let's see. We don't have a whole lot from our people, and I think you'll notice it's the same people.
I'm glad that they're interacting with us. Thank you, these 3 people.
So this is Jareth's girl. That's her. That was her username, and that's the username she's going by for this podcast. I wonder how your friend will feel about daddies. I'm not going to explain it, but I did.
We talked about it last time.
Vocal style on a certain. I mean, there is no explanation other than I just found it funny. And
no, he's got a lot of. I have a lot of things to say about his vocal style on different tracks, including how he's clearly mimicking.
No, yes.
Other folks. Yes. We'll get there.
And it's delightful every time.
Oh yeah. I love it.
I'm always more preoccupied with the potentially embarrassing or off-putting stuff. Let's see. The album version of the Superman, for instance, sounds so performatively grating and cringy, especially when you compare it to the Bowie at the Beeb take. You know how people say someone was singing in cursive? The Superman is what I imagine singing in a dialogue of Blackadder and Webbings sounds. What do you think he was trying to accomplish with his performance?
Well, that's really interesting. I love that because, the Superman is it's a very interesting track, and I'd love to learn more about it.
Do you want to get into that now, or do you want to save that for when we get to the track?
Yeah, let's timely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Milo's back. They say a contender for my favorite fucking Bowie album. I was like, oh, should I say it?
You almost didn't swear. My.
I didn't make the swears. The one I have metal fans listen to when they say they don't like Bowie's music.
Okay.
Width of a Circle is a fucking masterpiece. Savior Machine is brilliant. Some of the most underrated lyrics of his career. Ouvre la chaîne, motherfuckers.
What? Yeah, open the dog. Yeah.
Yes, open the dog.
Open the dog.
Open the dog, indeed. That's a good greeting for everybody. Open the dog to you, kind sir.
We'll start every episode from now on.
Open the dog. Open the dog, everybody. I mean, why doesn't this community spend more time talking about She Shook Me Cold? I said, prudes.
It's quite the song, as we'll get to.
It is quite the song. When
Mom, I fucked a guy. Sorry to my actual mother, who will probably listen to this.
That's fine. So, and then email, I think that was the name that he used on the website, so I think we're okay using that name.
Okay.
As long as we don't have his last name in there. I still love that song. The closest Daddy ever got to sounding like Black Sabbath.
Oh,
though I think
fair.
the band wrote most of it, which I think is true.
Okay.
And yes, that's what we got.
There's a lot of comments going on here. I love it.
Yeah, we have a new contributor. Email's a smart dude.
Sorry, I'm gonna kick one of my dogs out of this room because they're like wrestling behind me. So
okay, while you do that, we'll do a disclaimer from our lawyers once again.
The Bowiesplaining podcast delves into David Bowie's.
Okay, hold on. Asher's coming back.
David Bowie's what?
Podcast delves into David Bowie's catalog. The law offices of Asher, Michaela, and CJ hereby explicitly state that neither host possesses authoritative expertise, even though one of the hosts may or may not have impersonated David Bowie in fan forums. This is a claim we can neither confirm nor deny at this juncture. Listeners are cautioned that hosts may derive amusement from any errors, irritating dedicated fans. This podcast is purely for entertainment, not professional advice. Listeners must ensure compliance with local laws and seek approval from a health professional to engage in podcast listening without adverse health risks.
Okay.
By listening, you release hosts from
It's like the
liability
Westinghouse
for
guy from the
inaccuracies,
Oscars.
acknowledging their non-liability for any consequences arising from the content.
Okay.
Very
Thank you for your
thorough.
understanding.
Thank you.
He's wearing
Enjoy responsibly.
He's wearing a very large suit. So past show corrections. Like I said, we like to learn about things on this podcast.
I love the harmonium. I'm very upset we didn't talk about the harmonium.
Yeah, and today
we're going to learn how to play Guru Guru Wahe Guru on the harmonium. So everyone,
a classic childhood.
Get your harmoniums ready.
we're learning how to play Guru Guru Wahe Guru. If you want to support the channel, that would be really amazing, and you can find the link to
get ready to work the bellows and also press buttons.
Listen to the original version.
It's basically like a lap accordion, in case you're curious.
That's what it is. It's the weirdest freaking instrument, other than the mellotron.
Are you familiar that a fire organ exists? Hold on. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Now we're into
What was the one we learned about last time? The mellotron? Is that
the
what it's
mellotron?
called?
Yeah.
I'm blanking.
Fire organ.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. You've got the...
Here we go.
This is what my mother used to play at church, is an organ that fires fire. The Carol of the Bells, really.
Yep.
Where is pedals? You should be able to control more fire than that.
Really should. Let's see if this one has pedals. It's probably the same one.
Teens shouldn't be
like
able to harness that much fire.
Oh, or I disagree. I think they should. I think they should. They should be able
more
to
fire for the teens.
More fire.
Wait. Go back.
Yeah.
I want to see this epic, like tower.
I don't know that it's fire.
Might be playing an instrument.
I don't think it's a fire organ, but we'll see. No, if it was a fire organ, we would be seeing that shit right now.
Oh yeah. Somebody disfigure part of his face and put a mask on it.
Let's see. Let's play Morgan. What's this?
My dogs are not happy I separated them.
Oh, I'm not gonna read subtitles.
He said something about flams. Oh.
These are all fire organs. This one has
That dude's got a safety pin in his ear. That's too extreme for me.
Yeah, and this guy, it looks like it's more for show or anything.
This is sponsored by Red Bull. I'm out.
Oh God.
My heart can't handle it.
In researching this, I saw an interview that the Red Bull sponsored with Brian Eno, which will be funny when we get into who Brian Eno is in future episodes.
Well, I like Brian Eno.
Oh, good.
And
it's just weird, right? To have this.
The most extreme producer.
Tell me about On Some Faraway Beach, dude, bro. Anyway,
when are we gonna get to the Bowie?
Well, we gotta get through we gotta learn how to play this song on the harmonium.
Of the song, or follow the channel's Facebook page.
Nope. Okay. Those of you playing along at home, the chords are B minor, G, B minor, G, B minor, D, A, F sharp minor.
Okay,
B minor.
Got that one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm not great at the F sharp minor.
If you are driving, please at the very least pull over before you pull your harmonium out of your glove compartment. And then
we're learning.
If you feel like it's safe to continue playing while you're driving,
your lap car harmonium.
Yes.
Harmonium is a weird instrument. It is an accordion that you don't have to hold in front of you or strap to yourself. That's basically it.
It's. I like to think of it as an accordion that served in the war.
The war. Which war? I don't know.
Just something. But it does have
Texas War.
It does. Yes, it does have little levers and whatnot. I said levers because we're talking about a British musician. That like will hold drones and do like vibrato and like it's a fun little quirky instrument.
Featured in the Paul Thomas Anderson movie Punch Drunk Love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever watched that one.
Really?
Yeah,
I like that one.
Adam Sandler just I don't know.
It was one of his more serious roles. His only serious role.
Yeah. He's just such a good friend to his friends. That's what I hear. All right, so here we go.
I like Friends.
Friends are good.
Whoa.
Yeah, like I was saying in our text conversation, rather than me preaching to you, let's just talk about things. And I have a menu of things that we can bring up if we need.
Well, yeah, as we were discussing in the last episode, the hippie bullshit was starting to wear thin.
Yes.
On David.
Yes. Yeah.
And everybody. Everybody was getting a little tired.
I think so. It. And I think the previous episode, I equated them to crusty anarchists, which we are dealing with in our current world. I
love them. Yeah. Love them. Yeah.
It's I think I can summarize how I feel about a couple political ideologies by anarchists just don't like showers and libertarians don't like bedtime. That's just kind of what it comes down to for me.
But they all love liberty.
Oh, well,
man, who doesn't love liberty?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, there's just sort of people at some point just get real tired of those dirty hippies. And it was really only, I can't believe I included this. Did you know that apparently the CIA used LSD to fight communism?
I've heard about this. Yes.
So I'm not a big conspiracy dude. Well, maybe I am by some people's estimation, but I don't consider myself one. Because I'm not an information hoarder, regardless of what some of the podcasts I've done might make you believe. I actually, knowing a little bit about how the CIA likes to spoil leftist movements in various countries, I would not be surprised if some government organization was like, oh, they're talking about peace and love and freedom and happiness and equality, and like we have this jar of LSD that we need
created this new thing that will they'll love it.
Why don't we just say it's like brain yoga?
Let's put a guy in leather pants, and a leather vest, and nothing else, and maybe a leather hairband, and say, "Hey guys, you wanna lick this?"
Yeah, and then you get to figure out if your mind control drug works, and they all kind of just lose it.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. Thank God we got. Just for the record, I love capitalism. And
I love Bowiesplaining podcast.
So the no showering thing. This is someone who I enjoy, Hassan Piker.
It's Hassan.
Don't worry, it's not. It's in a version that you can tolerate.
Okay.
Right? Here we go. He's talking about anarchists and taking a shower.
The shower thing is exactly what it is. It's not a dog whistle. You need a shower, like physically clean your body. Anarchists, you need to take a shower. It has nothing to do with dog whistles. When an anarchist conceptualizes showers in the form of a Nazi dog whistle, they're like, what? He's asking me to take a shower? It must be a Nazi dog whistle. Cleanliness was sent to us by our oppressive rulers who want us to be sanitized so we can be docile. No, just smell good.
One of the most impressive and true things Hassan Abi has ever said.
I agree.
Just, we don't want to smell you.
Yeah.
I know there's natural, people are natural, humanity is an animal, but we can be better.
Yeah, and that's like my I like philosophically I can get into like a lot of the things that the dirty hippies were into, but like it just we don't need it's come on, take a shower. That's it. Just take a shower. That's literally all we're asking. Take a shower, maybe be on time.
Yeah. Show up for work. We're paying you
exactly.
to put ice cream into a cone for children.
You dirty hippie. So anyway, yeah, the times they were changing. I think someone might have written a song about it. If they haven't, they should. And just sort of a test case of
would you like me to break up my harmonium and replicate memory of a dirty hippie festival from the previous show?
Well, that can be. Oh God, we should just put
we're
together.
Gonna have a party. Uh-huh.
We know enough people that we could put together just a bunch of covers.
We really need to do that.
Really shitty covers.
Everybody, just send us in your cover of the Sun Machine portion of the song "Memory of a Festival."
Well, the thing is,
we'll just make we'll just do it.
If we're gonna do this, if we're gonna do this realistically, we need a click track, and then that can be sort of a starting point there. But I'm all about it.
Iman, please forgive us. I loved you in the original Star Trek movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that should count for something.
Wait, she wasn't in. Was she in the original? Like the V'ger one?
Yeah, it wasn't she. Wasn't she the one that? Oh, okay, let me just back myself up. Iman Star.
Oh, she
Trek.
was.
Yep.
What? No, she was in.
I'm sorry.
The Search for a Car.
Search for a Car.
Right.
That's. Oh gosh. Yeah. I'm sorry. That was Star Trek 6. I'm thinking of. Oh no, which? She was great in Star Trek 6, where she had to
thinking of
kiss Kirk in a very gross way.
Ali,
Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Yeah, this is great. Everybody loves this.
No, this is they do. They really do.
This is a podcast here. This is how podcasts work.
Who was in it? Model in Star Trek the motion picture
cast. Okay.
Let's see.
Percy's Kambata. Oh, that makes more sense because Iman has darker skin than Percy's Kambata.
Huh. Yeah.
She's a very white Indian, which
careful.
No, I was gonna say one of my friends in pharmacy school, like she's like, apparently I have very fair skin and that makes me more attractive. I don't know. I don't understand this.
Funny how that is a thing.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But anyway, Amon, if you are listening, please give us the rights. We'll use them really responsibly, I promise.
And Mita, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
She's dead. wait.
No, Mita's my friend.
Oh, sorry,
friend
not your friend.
Alive.
Your friend's not dead. Your friend's alive. I thought you were
just alive.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no.
We're gonna go back and say
right.
Persis, if you're listening, I'm sorry, and I'll cut it. Maybe.
No, you won't. It's fine. Mita would laugh at this.
Okay, good. Nita, I'm sorry.
I've known her for very many years.
Nita, I'm sorry. Everyone else listening who's angry at me.
I'm talking about a person that I know, and I'm explaining the things that she said to me. Half of our class was Indian.
Okay.
If you'd like to be a pharmacist, go to school. If
you're upset with what just happened, please send an email to Jason
and blind carbon copy BCC David Bowie at teenagewildlife.net.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna move on.
No, that was largely me. That was largely me. Like, right. I know an Indian person.
Yep. Here we go. So, just as an example of things that were the times that were a changing, as some might say, we got Altamont, which kind of just like ruined.
Oh gosh, the anti-Woodstock.
Yeah. I guess people who aren't familiar with that, look it up. It's a goddamn nightmare. Man.
It's more of a wreck than Woodstock 2000 or whatever year they tried to redo it. Where they didn't have any water.
Woodstock 2000 was definitely a disaster of the time. Like it's more like a what's the word I'm thinking of? An indictment of the time that it took place in.
Okay.
Where it's just like, well, it's just complete crass commercialism.
Yeah.
And then it's just Altamont. It's just, you got basically, long story short, they wanted to put together another festival, and it was kind of a cash grab. The times again were a changing, and
cha-ching.
And they were like, hey, let's put this together. What can possibly go wrong? What if we, have a stage that's like at a slope, but the performers will be fine; they won't fall over. And we're like, let's see, where can we put this? How about over here? No, how about over here? No, how about over here? And then finally they're like, okay, we found a place, I think. And who should we get to do security? Well, Hell's Angels, of course. Which,
a well-known biker gang, yes.
Yes. Which now I understand are not necessarily the way they were before so much.
No, biker gangs are, I mean, there's been a change in the biker gang, like, mystique. They're more responsible people. I have interacted with biker gangs before because my dad's a biker.
Oh, that's right.
And Yeah, like they don't want to be seen as a like violent culture, like in general. But yeah, I think hiring a bunch of rough guys to be security for a festival is probably not the best idea.
Here's I think this is a call in from one of the security people.
Sonny?
Yeah.
Okay, what's up?
I didn't go there to police nothing, man. I ain't no cop. I ain't never gonna ever pretend to be a cop. And this Mick Jagger, like, put it all on the Angels, man. Like, he used us for dupes, man. You know, and as far as I'm concerned, we were the biggest suckers for that idiot that I can ever see. And you know what? They told me if I could sit on the edge of the stage so nobody would climb over me, you know, I could drink beer until the show was over. And that's what I went there to do. But you know what? When they started messing over our bikes, they started it. I don't know if you think we pay $50 for them things or steal them or pay a lot for them or what. Ain't nobody going to kick my motorcycle. And they might think because they're in a crowd of 300,000 people that they can do it and get away with it. But when you're standing there looking at something that's your life and everything you got is invested in that thing and you love that thing better than you love anything in the world and you see a guy kick it, you know who he is. You're going to get him. And you know what? They got. I am not no peace creep by any sense of the word. And you can call them people flower children and this and that. Some of them people was loaded on some drugs that it's just too bad we wasn't loaded on because they come running off of the hill yelling, ah, you know, and jump on somebody and it wasn't even always jumping on angels. But when they jumped on an angel, they got hurt.
Yeah, you're part of a crew that doesn't do drugs generally, and a bunch of drugged up hippies are attacking your friend, and yeah, that's not a good recipe.
Yeah, and just applying what I know about some of these festivals now, it's especially at this point. I would imagine, again, I'm applying very little knowledge other than just like experiencing the world as I experience it currently. A lot of those people at that festival were probably like, I don't want to say literally trust fund kids, but you know, that type.
Yeah, it happens at some of these some concerts these days where people are like, well, I'm more here for the experience. Like, no, you should be there for the music.
Right.
If you're there for the music, okay. If you're there for the experience, then you're probably there for drug culture and whatever.
And I think something similar is happening currently with like Burning Man, where like, again, I can totally co-sign on the idea of what the thing is, but when it comes down to it, it's just a bunch of rich, you know, crypto bros, you know, wanting to just live out their like Mad Max weird fantasy dream thing without really having an understanding of like, okay, well that was actually a cautionary tale. You know.
Yeah, I have no intention of ever going to something like that, but yeah anyway,
so we talked about
no, Bad Tony's back.
Bad Tony's here. He's here. This is Tony Defreeze. We'll talk about him a little bit more in detail as we go on, but he is now on the board. Bad Tony is here. He's in David Bowie's life.
He's biting too hard on that cigar in this picture.
That tells you a lot about the character, I think. Once again, just to review, we got Bad Tony. This is Good Tony. That's Tony Visconti.
Oh, Visconti. Oh, I love Tony.
Kitty cat. And then that's Bad Tony. Good Tony. Okay. Bad Tony. Good Tony. Bad Tony. Okay, so absolute piece of shit, but he kind of had a thing. I think even the most critical people have said that he had a pretty good idea in terms of like rocketing to stardom, which was basically if you project success and stardom and, you know, really play up the perceived weirdness of your character and who you are, people will have kind of no choice but to go like, I think that person's already a star. And maybe they don't, especially if you're coming from like the UK to America, where it's like, I guess he's a star there, so we should be paying attention.
Right.
More on that
at
later.
the time when they don't have that internet where they're less aware. It's like, hey, there's a guy getting off a plane, and look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting that. I mean, it's a good strategy, I suppose.
If you're not a piece of shit,
right?
And this guy was, and so it worked. And he put the record company's money into projecting this image, and took a solid 50% of everything off the top.
50%.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. And
that's a bad deal.
Yeah. And Bowie would be stuck paying the bill. And this is Ken Scott talking about that. Ken Scott, by the way, engineer, producer for upcoming albums, basically.
Okay.
Wanted to get into production, and so we spoke to the management and owners of Trident Studios, and they said, that's great. Well, we'll set up production companies for each of you, which we'll look after. They basically became our managers, and each of us had our own company. It's just I happened to break through faster than the others because of Mr. Bowie, but we all had the same kind of thing.
Ziggy Stardust went number one.
It did very well, I think, number one.
But you didn't see a lot of money.
And actually, in this, Ken goes into a lot of the management and some problems with music management. It's a little long, but he gets into some stuff that I think is interesting.
With Bowie.
No, not fair. Well, I've never seen everything you should. I don't think any artist or producer ever sees everything they should get, because all of these damn record companies keep 2 sets of books, as far as I'm concerned. I have tried on numerous occasions to talk attorneys into filing a class action lawsuit against every major label out there, because once an artist becomes successful, they will go in and they'll audit the record company's books. I have heard of many, many occasions when they've gone in and done that, and every single occasion it has turned out that the accounts were in the record company's favour. Oh, we're sorry, that must have been a mistake. A mistake doesn't happen every single solitary time. Also, it always turns around that they will say, well, you've got to prove this, you'll have to sue us for it. The artist isn't going to go into court of law and try and get every penny. So the record company says, well, we'll pay you half of what you say we owe you. Every single time they accept that, and every single time they have to sign a non-disclosure contract that says they can't talk about it. So it is so obvious to me after I've now been in the recording business for 49 and a half years.
It only took that.
It only took that long, yeah. No, so yeah, but it wasn't with David. It wasn't so much the record company as it was his manager, Mr. Tony Defreeze, who screwed everyone. He wanted to be the English Colonel Tom Parker, the way.
Oh no,
Elvis,
that's a bad comparison.
Probably. He may even have passed Colonel Tom Parker. But just as an example, just to tell you what David was on for a while, his original contract with Tony Defreeze was Tony Defreeze took 50% of gross. David would do a tour. He would have to pay out of his own pocket all expenses for the tour. And that was after Tony Defreeze had taken his 50% off the top. Watch out for deals like that, guys.
Yeah, I remember one of the tours, it was an artistic decision for him to go out there with just a light.
Just the neon tubes, yeah. That was after he had actually got out of his deal. He'd won his lawsuit and got out of his deal with Defreeze at that point. So that was going to be the first tour where he would actually start to make money.
So he knew the stage show had to be as limited as possible.
Yes, of course.
That's the Isolar tour, by the way.
Oh.
Bowiesplaining.
Get ready, listeners. It'll come in 17 months.
Actually, we're making pretty good time. I'm pretty proud of us.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got that douchebag.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know what to say other than wow.
Yeah, he's going to be with us for a little bit, and I think if you ever listen to the song "Fame," I think that's there might be some of that in there.
I love the song "Fame."
Yeah,
it's a song that I like.
It's a song, and if you listen to it with all of that in mind, it's sort of like, he gets it now. So kind of how in Woody Allen movies, New York is the fifth character or the fifth Beatle or whatever. Haddon Hall comes into play here. This is a place that him and Angie found that became just like first of all, it's a huge house. Eric, how big is that house that you see on the screen?
It's approximately as large as 17 bison. No, more than 17 bison. 170 bison.
Metric bison?
What measurement scale are we going on here?
It's a pretty big fucking house, right?
It's 180 lambs.
Yeah, it's at least 2 stories, probably
and there are
a
17
basement.
Rooms.
Yeah. Whole lot of windows. So basically, him and Angie get married pretty quickly. After he says, I can never love you, right? And she's like, okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, whatever. Who could?
You have a guitar. I've never dated a man with a guitar.
She's a wonderful lady. So they were really drawn to it because it was like this old Victorian.
I love this house. This is my kind of house.
Holy cow. Right. You got like a weird like stained glass window kind of thing going on.
Oh man,
it looks very much like the kind of place that an eccentric old rich person would be like, I don't know, build another wing.
How about a stairwell that leads up to the 3rd floor on the outside of the house?
What if I want to take a stairway to the roof? That's what I need to meet Santa Claus.
How will I get the leaves out of the eaves?
Yes. Yeah, that's basically what that place is. And from what I understand, the feeling was like because again, Bowie's still in this feeling of like, hey, I actually want to do the hippie thing without doing the hippie thing. So if you're an interesting person, yeah, well, yeah. And it's like, well, okay, if you're an interesting person and you have interesting ideas and you like, if we get along and we're kind of like working kind of in the same area and we could bounce ideas off each other, just live here. Just live here and we'll just do stuff.
Put your wardrobe of androgynous dresses in the closets and we'll be fine.
Absolutely. So there was some financial issues as people were kind of who's this Defreeze guy, but there's not a lot of there's not a lot of success going on. So for the most part, it's just like, hey, we're hanging out and this is cool.
All right, I need to take an actual break because something is going on upstairs and I don't know what it is because it's only my dog.
Oh,
I think he might have started the Roomba upstairs and I don't know what's going on. So I'll be right back.
All right. Eric's going to go take a shit.
Hi, this is David Bowie. What do you think of when someone talks about the children of the poorest of the poor? Do you ever think of children from the inner city or American Indian reservations? Save the Children has been working hard for 50 years to improve the lives of American children too. Find out how they're helping your own and the world's children. Write to me, David Bowie, in care of Save the Children, Westport, Connecticut 06880.
Well, while he is taking a shit, here's a video suggested to me on my YouTube. This is Magpie Bird barking like a dog after being adopted by a staffy. Let's see. That's the magpie. That's the magpie. The dog's just kind of sitting there like, please don't do that. Ooh, Smart Marley channel. 5 surprising facts about koalas you never knew. Let's see.
Hello, friends.
Oh, it's an AI child.
I'm Marley,
oh,
your
goodness.
friendly guide to the wonderful world of koalas. Join me as we explore their fascinating lives and uncover some amazing facts about these cuddly marsupials. What are koalas? Koalas, also known as koala bears, are adorable creatures that live in the eucalyptus forests of Australia. They're not actually bears, but rather marsupials, which means they have pouches where they carry their babies. Koalas are known for their fluffy fur, big ears, and big black noses.
Is this?
It's an AI child.
Like what? Wait, you're narrating a nature thing with an AI child?
Mm-hmm. We live
I
in
hate
a
it.
really
I hate it.
I'm kind of just waiting for the singularity, and it's like,
yeah, the singularity.
Let's just do it.
They're saying it's going to happen in the 2030s, but I think it's going to happen next week.
Bring it. I'm like, it's seriously, it's just like, all right. I mean, if it's going to happen anyway, let's just get it over with. So, what was happening upstairs?
Well, it's happening again. Oh my goodness. More noise is happening. I don't know. Other than it seems like the dog has leapt onto the stove and is cleaning it with his tongue.
That's nice of him. It's not on, is it?
No, it's off. It's been off for a while.
Okay.
It's been like an hour since I cooked a thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey. Okay. No, we're gonna have to disengage again for a sec.
Okay.
The Paul Dainty Corporation presents David Bowie's Glass Spider Tour. Hey, you! Step into the web. I'll never let you down. A magical rock masterpiece featuring Bowie's latest album. His classics. Let yourself go. One night in Brisbane is not enough. Bowie plays a second show October 30.
We are the sunshine of your life, Minute Maid.
Minute Maid with calcium. Now orange juice is even more nutritious.
We are the taste that starts your day, Minute Maid.
Healthy bodies need calcium, and every glass has more calcium than a glass of milk. You can't buy a more nutritious orange juice.
Minute Maid. Minute Maid. We are the sunshine of your life.
Has your dog cooked anything?
No. The stove has been locked and was locked. So when they turn the dial, it just goes boo-doo-doo-doo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So getting back to the splaining.
Yes, Mick Ronson.
We get Mick Ronson entering the picture here.
Good old Mick.
Here's more about him.
Mick had already played for a producer called Gus Dudgeon, so we heard about
Gus
Mick.
Dudgeon.
And it was John Cambridge who mentioned that Mick was in my band, the Rats.
He played with another group called Junior's Eyes. They used to back David Bowie on some gigs, I think, for a short while. Well, he said, you've got to meet this guy, David Bowie. You know, I said, you should come down to London, you know.
But then it came as a complete surprise that he was a gardener and he wasn't doing music anymore.
So I came down to London and we were sitting around his house.
I started playing some of my songs on a 12-string, and he plugged in his Gibson, and even though he was playing at a very low volume...
I believe that is Tom Conti reading for David Bowie. I believe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And grit cut through the room, and he immediately established himself as a very well-defined player.
We had a John Peel show in 2 days to do, and it was just going to be John Cambridge, myself, and David. David was going to be on acoustic guitar. But there was some electric guitar needed for the songs.
Well, he was, sitting around playing guitar, like sort of cross-legged on the floor and everything, And I picked up a guitar and I just played along.
When he played his first few notes and just was getting his tone out of his amplifier, David and I looked at each other and we went like silently, wow, like that.
He said, I've got a radio show to play this evening. Will you come and play, So I said, yeah, all right then.
So with a couple of hours of rehearsal, Mick joined us.
I didn't really know what was going on, so I kind of stood on his left side so I could watch his hands and watch where he was playing, And so I didn't know any of the numbers really, so I kind of just watched him and kind of played through everything and...
Been there.
Chords
For sure.
really fast, and he was then able to improvise around them pretty much immediately. The radio show sounded pretty good considering how little rehearsal there'd been.
You're going to be doing gigs with this.
So that's Mick Ronson, Rono, as they call him.
Oh, Rono. Oh,
how advanced of a skill is that to be able to just like watch somebody's fingers and go, that's the chords?
It's, I mean, as a person who has done that myself, like literally today, it's kind of advanced. It's not the most advanced, but yeah, it's not easy to listen to somebody playing something and say, oh, wait, okay, they're playing in this key. I gotta mirror them, or I have to add something to what they're doing. That's a really interesting skill, is being able to say, they're doing this, I have to add on to it. Like we were saying in the last episode at the beginning of Space Oddity, where the opening chord is F minor 7 on Bowie's 12 string, and then it's added on to with an E major, which is similar but just enough of a twist that it adds so much. Yeah, it's not the easiest thing. That's a good question, but yeah, I'm feeling weird because I do that, and I did that today, literally. But it's something that you have to do as a musician. You have to figure out what everybody else is doing, and sometimes you have to look at what their fingers are doing, because if you don't have the ear for it, you at least can look at it and say, "Oh, that's where his fingers are. I can do that."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And a harmonium, you just look at what keys they're playing, because it's like a keyboard.
Right. Oh, wait, he's not pumping the harmonium enough.
So with Mick Ronson in tow, they were able to form a band called The Hype to support Bowie's sort of touring to promote what's that album? Space Oddity. Also, well, it was then called Man of Words, Man of Music.
Only one of these people in this image look like they're ready to promote a Space Oddity.
Yes, and it's not.
Maybe
not
two. Maybe two.
Yeah. So The Hype, they decided, hey, what if we let's make these characters, and because that's something that was kind of happening, or something that was just kind of in the air at the time. So David Bowie was Space Star or Rainbow Man, and he was kind of, oddly enough, the last thought when it came to the costume. This is all just shit that he had laying around anyway. Mick Ronson was Gangster Man. As you can see, he's dressed up as a gangster. Tony Visconti was Hype Man. And there he is, dressed up as a Hype Man with a big H on his chest. And John Cambridge, I think, was Cowboy Man, dressed up as a cowboy right there. See him play that cowboy?
Well, Mick looks like he's ready for space, or at least a superhuman adventure.
Oh yeah, he's ready to rough up some people. And then later, Mick Woodmansey, or Woody Woodmansey, replaces
Woody Woodmansey.
Yeah.
What a great name.
Yeah. And I can never remember if he's the one with the sideburns or not.
Hey, do you have Janine up in the corner there?
Yeah, Janine's up there. She's ready. Do you want to hear them?
No, her name is Janine.
Janine, yes. Would you like to hear them play Janine?
Let's hear them play Janine.
It's not on Spotify, so we're safe. Wait, that's not what I wanted.
That's an occasional dream. Asher, get your shit together.
Oh, this one we can actually listen to.
Oh, okay.
We can glide along. I caught your wings for laps. I'm not obliged to read your statements. It's all the yes. So take your glasses off and don't act so sincere. Janine, you'd like to crash the walls. And I've got things inside my
So not a huge difference, but a little sprinkling a little more rock on there. All right, we got his influences at the time. Got so many videos, and we've done a lot of distractions so far.
Oh, Nietzsche.
I don't know that we need to get into all of these.
So many Supermen.
And again, I just want to make it clear that in no way does this go in a bad direction later on when he starts doing so much cocaine. So
when are we going to get to the album?
That's a good question, listener and Eric. Let's just go straight to it. We've fucked around a lot. These are things that we can come back to. Basically, we're looking at Nietzsche, we're looking at some Velvet Underground shit, we're looking at some Aleister Crowley. All this stuff can come back with Hunky Dory, because Hunky Dory is basically it's kind of the reference album. It's kind of the these are all the people I'm listening to and inspired by album.
Okay.
So we can hit that then.
Good to know.
We got on the production for this album so many people. We got Mick Ronson, we got David Bowie, we got Tony Visconti on bass, we got Ralph Mace, whoever the fuck that is, Woody Woodmansey on drums. He also played the gyro. What's the gyro? Here we go. Short video.
I don't know. Let's find out.
It's the rocking chair sound.
It's a ceramic jar with ridges.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what that is. So first time playing in a big studio.
Oh, and he's responsible for the timpanis in the Superman.
Oh yes. That song.
We'll get there. We'll get there, listener. I love
grown on me.
That song. Is so wild. I love it.
So yeah, and I think the only note I have here that I wanted to mention is that Rano encouraged Tony Visconti to play bass like Jack Bruce from Cream.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone can hear. I'm not going to play the video, but when I did listen to some Jack Bruce, playing his bass, just playing his bass, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
No, yeah, he's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Do we want to just get straight to this, or do you see anything on there you want to talk about?
Album production. Okay. Frustration, Bowie's defense. Okay. This is great audio. This supports a lot of the things that I was thinking, which this feels like a jam album where they basically just jammed out and went, let's write a song based on the thing that we did over the last half hour.
Totally. And I don't think, when I learned initially that David Bowie's involvement in this album was kind of minimal, I was like, that makes sense.
David, write some words. Right, I'll do it.
Yeah, he was
Janine. No, that was the last one.
Other one.
Okay.
Other one. Yeah, he was kind of in John Lennon mode for this one. That's a joke from Dan Hates the Beatles. So our
Wait, Dan hates the Beatles?
I'm joking. I love them.
It's just a character.
That's my favorite thing. It's one of my favorite things to say whenever anyone's upset on any of the podcasts. It's like, I'm playing a character. I actually love the Beatles very much.
Yeah. I do love the Beatles, listener.
I know.
I love the Beatles, and Dan hates me for it.
No, I love you, but I hate the Beatles. So this was originally titled Metrobolist, because it was a play on words that it was his. I guess he was talking to somebody about the music on the songs on the album, and he would like delight with pure delight. He would say, "It's Metrobolist," and so it's like, I'll call it Metrobolist. Author of the Laughing Gnome.
So many drugs.
Oh my. Yeah. Here's the artwork that we are all familiar with. We are looking at it right now. Eric, have you noticed what he's doing with his finger right here? Have you noticed what he's doing to us?
Well, he's holding a card with his middle finger.
He's showing us the bad finger. He's telling us he's telling us what we could do.
Well, it's interesting in the Apple album, the re-release with the better audio. They have animated cards falling down, which is a little bit too much.
That's a bit much.
It's a bit much. Oh, hey. Oh, the alternate. So, this is the single. I've seen this.
Well, actually, this was we're looking at the alternate release. This was for the American audience because America sees that. They're like, no, thank you.
A man wearing a dress looking.
Or rather, it's more something along the lines of like, oh, what a lovely David Bowie. No, thank you.
This might be why my father wasn't a David Bowie fan.
This might be why some people are not Bowie fans, if we're being really honest.
I listened to so much 70s music, like so much classic rock from this time period, like Blood, Sweat, and Tears and King Crimson, and all of these things are things that I heard on the radio and heard from my dad, like Dire Straits, and it's like, why was David Bowie missing from all of this?
Honestly, I think, and I'm not trying to. I've never met your dad. I'm sure he's a lovely person.
Bowie is alt rock for this time.
That's true.
That's my take on it. Yeah. It's nothing against Dad. Yeah,
right.
It's like he was different.
He was different, and I also get the impression a little bit, and this is applying some of just like, I lived through the 80s and the 90s, and I watched the world go from like openly homophobic to closeted homophobic at the very least, or at the like. Where at least now we live in a world where like we know not to be openly hateful, and
right.
like, I mean, at the least, and I feel like a lot of progress has been made generally, not enough, but leaps and bounds from like this period at least.
Yeah, at least it's not a completely deviant thing.
Right. Well, in some states they're working on it, but I really do think that there's something to be said for Bowie's lack of mainstream popularity to being like, I'm not trying to be like a woke scold here or anything, because he was an alternative person regardless of all this other stuff. I think that the sort of like, ain't that the gay guy? I think there was probably a hint at the very least of.
Did he come out as like openly gay, or at least openly bisexual?
He was
around
openly
this time?
bisexual. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, he said that he was gay, but he was married to a lady, and they were both very, very much sleeping around with a lot of just everybody.
Okay.
So
everybody had a shot at David Bowie.
If you have a thing to do a thing with, they were into it. So yeah, I feel like there's probably some amount of homophobia that kept several people who would otherwise be into this music away from it.
Yeah,
and that's not
particularly in America.
Yeah, and that's not to point a finger at them necessarily.
No,
it's more to point a finger at the world at the time and the culture and all that.
Right.
So, so here we have the American version.
This cover is wild.
It's great. You got the building in the back. So to describe it to the listener who hasn't seen it, which I don't know why you're listening to this podcast if you haven't, you got a dude, just a regular old like middle America kind of guy, like the Marlboro Man.
Like it's John Wayne wearing a popped collar with a cowboy hat that's disintegrating into the air.
I like to think of it as like the Marlboro Man's uncle. Like,
I also endorse things. Listen to this damn album.
The building behind him is supposedly a famous mental asylum that was in Bowie's neighborhood that apparently some members of his family spent some time in.
Right.
And originally there's a speech bubble, and it's originally said, roll up your sleeves, take a look at your arms. And Mercury Records did not like that. So
I think it's even better with a blank speech bubble as a cartoon.
I completely agree.
I think this cover is awesome. I want this record.
Yeah,
I want
it. They definitely did a good job there. Releases that came out afterwards. We got, come on, there we go.
Good slides. All right.
So we have this one after Bowie becomes famous with Zigger with the
Zigger stir stamp.
when he released the comic strip Ziggy. And we got this other one that's a German re-release.
I don't like that.
Fucked up.
I don't like that.
But wouldn't you think Germans would like that?
I've met several Germans, and sure, they would love it.
I feel like they'd love it. And
good
then
marketing.
Here it comes.
It's coming down. Oh, no.
Record this is the first release where they actually have some bonus tracks that are worth paying attention to. We won't, because Iman hasn't given us the rights yet. Frightening Lightning.
Iman, please call us. Call us back.
Well, the phone's ringing. Just kidding. Frightening Lightning. Holy, I might share that with you.
Okay.
After we're recording.
I don't know either of those. So
yeah. Or how about this? If you're interested, I would recommend, of these, I think Holy is rather fun.
And it's only 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Go into it, listener. I'm not allowed until we get to there.
Well, I mean, hold on. Maybe
I'm trying to stick to the rules here. You know, whatever.
I'm trying to
Bowiesplaining at me.
I'm trying to be good here. I'm also trying to reduce the amount of editing I have to do. But let's make that an extracurricular thing.
Okay. We're good. Let's keep going.
All right.
Tracks.
Here we go.
We're finally at the album.
Yay. The album begins with Width of a Circle. Eric. Your thoughts?
It's got a very 70s intro with its fade in and everything, but oh man, that bass. Bass.
Oh yes.
Oh. I'm a bass player, and I listen to it and I go, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's like epic.
I remember the first time. So this was one of the, my relationship with guitars and hard rock has been difficult for the most part. It took me some time to get there because I was really a synth dude. And so, and it took me basically listening to, I think it was after listening to Heroes, which is it's not this kind of guitar heavy, but it's guitar heavy.
Okay. Yeah.
The album. And I was like, okay, if I can make it through that, I think, okay, I trust what this person can do with stuff that to my sensibilities at the time felt harder. So I press play on this track. I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of a station thing going on here. That's kind of cool. You'll know what that means later. And then once the bass hits, I'm just like, okay, I want to live here.
It's such a great song.
It really is.
It's so 70s. It's so trippy. He's conversing with himself as a monster. The monster was me. But then he goes on, like the next two verses are him talking to himself and commenting on how he's talking to himself. And he's referencing Khalil Gibran.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing the Prophet was having a surge in sales recently. And
I think it was. But I think for me, it's cried for all the wow. Okay, it's not lack of memory; it's lack of being able to process speech right now. I cried for all the others when the day was merely through, because I realized that God's a young man too. Which is after a bird or something says squawked insane and said Khalil Gibran.
Yeah,
and the Prophet, if I remember correctly, because I'm very well read.
Dan's read a book.
I can barely read.
Everybody.
It's basically like Gibran took, and I'm only engaging with this because this is kind of what I think he wanted us to do with this song. Khalil Gibran took all of the like prophet myths from all these various religions, and kind of said like, okay, this is kind of how it works, and it all comes down to somebody who is, young, of a certain age, early 30s, late 20s.
Yeah, engaging with this book that had been out for at that point decades.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the Prophet has had like these surges in popularity like every few decades for a long time. And yeah, like Khalil Gibran was a major poet, and yeah, like he brought up these ideas that people latched onto for years, on and off again. And yeah, why not in the 70s when you're looking for something to engage with, when you want something other than what's mainstream,
right? And I think where, at least for me, and it's pretty clear that this song isn't meant to be interpreted in a way that we're supposed to understand what he's trying to say. So I guess my Rorschach test version of this is it's sort of like he's recognizing that all of it is kind of bullshit, but not in like a nihilistic way, in a way that's sort of like, it really is just that simple. Like this is how this can all be. This really can be just, so that's, the world is just like this big confusing illusion. And once you're able to see that, then you can kind of just, have sex with the devil. Yeah, have sex with the devil, or just some random guy. It's fine. It could just be some random guy that you now label as the devil. It's pretty clearly the devil.
He keeps saying the devil, but maybe he's just a guy who fucked him up. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's a solid 3-act song, like we had with Space Oddity, where there are different things going on, and I really love in the third act, the the turn it around, go back.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
oh, I love when he's got his backup guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's so of its time, but
well, and I re-listening to this for the third time recently, when we get to that part and we get to the solo part and you hear Bowie, I would imagine it's Bowie in the background, it's going, ah! Ah!
You're right.
Like, is that supposed to be the devil?
Or it's just him going, I got fucked by the devil.
Yeah, it's so good. And another, I think, delightful reveal, especially for me the first time listening to this, and every time I get back to it, I'm just like, oh, this is so great. I don't think enough people appreciate Bowie. I mean, he would do such serious, and I mean serious with a capital S, like serious music. But he had such an amazing sense of humor and play that when we get to a certain point in the song, it's just like, oh, okay, this is just they're just fucking with us now.
Right.
Like,
oh man. And it's such a long song to like kick off an album. But yeah. Yeah, it's you're right. It's playful. And every chunk just adds on to the next one. I really like it.
Yeah,
I like it so much. Yeah.
So I'm going to try not to do this very much because I don't like when people do this, but I am genuinely curious. Is this the kind of thing that you would have expected from David Bowie before doing this?
This is the kind of thing I would have expected from a band in the 70s.
Okay.
Now, 1970 feels a little early for this kind of fuckery. But yeah, I'm totally in. Like, the way they did everything was so. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the lyrics are great. The musicality is great. My dog is climbing on my shoulder. That's great. And this song is it's a warning to the rest of the 70s saying we're gonna do this differently. Okay, I'm sick of the hippie shit. We're gonna do something else. That's what it feels like to me. It's a warning. Well, and I don't know if that's reading too much into it, but yeah.
And I think, like, as a Bowie fan, I think I can also say that this is I'm not saying this for Bowie fans. I'm saying this as my version of a Bowie fan. I think this one also serves as almost a warning of, like, we're going to kind of like, we're going to do something. We're going to come up with something so completely ridiculous, but we're going to take it very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to do it right.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The lyrics are just so detailed. Like, if you just listen to the music, sure, it's a great song. But when you get into the lyrics, you're like, okay, he's doing something here.
He sure is.
He sure is. He's doing the devil. I don't know.
And the music that comes in, it almost makes you picture it. It's so wonderful.
Oh man, this song is so great. It's like, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I tried to find an animated video of Width of a Circle because I thought surely it exists. Internet, you're not doing your job.
Oh, damn you, Internet!
Of all the things that you can make an animated version.
All the fan art you could imagine.
Yes.
I'm upset by the fan art that you have on the page right now.
Yep.
It's upsetting. But it is. He's getting into so many things, and that's compelling. And I really vibe with him, like, because it's got the acoustic guitar that I love. I love the 12-string. As I said in the last episode, and we've got some great guitar solos. We've got some cool vocals. We've got some weird things going on. This song is fantastic.
Wonderful.
I'm in.